Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm Russ LeBlanc, your personal NEC consultant and code expert. In this video, I'm going to be explaining feeder and service load calculations for dwelling unit or household electric cooking appliances such as electric ranges, electric cooktops, electric ovens. Specifically, we're going to be looking at Table 220.55 and Note 2. So grab your code book and we can probably need a calculator too for some of these examples, and we can dive right in. Okay, again, we are looking at Table 220.55 along with Note 2. I'm going to have several videos covering this table along with the notes for these feeder and service calculations. Rather than one long video, we'll have several shorter videos that we can follow along with. Otherwise, it would be one super long video. Okay, let's take a look at the table. And remember, column C, we have to use column C in all cases unless we're using Note 3. We're not using Note 3, we're using Note 2, so we're going to be using column C. There will be a video covering Note 3, so look for that video. All right, we're just scrolling through the table here, looking at some of the demands in column C. All right, so for example, let's say we had 20 appliances, right? Maybe we don't have to do any math. We just look at the group of appliances. We have 20, read the info in column C, 35 kW. That's it. We don't have to do any math. We just read the number in column C, but that's if they're all the same rating, right? If the group of ranges is a group of all different nameplate ratings, well, we can't just read column C. We have to do a couple extra steps according to Note 2. All right, then once we get above 25 kW, it gets a little more complicated. I'm going to have a separate video on that when we have groups of ranges and we're above 25 ranges. Gets a little more complicated, so a separate video covering that. All right, let's take a look at Note 2. Excuse me. A little frog in my throat there. All right, Note 2. This is applicable for ranges over 8 3/4 up to 27 kW. When we have a group of ranges, right, it says ranges, of unequal ratings, right? So we've got a group of ranges, and we've got some 10 kW, and 11 kW, and 13 kW, and 12 kW, right? So we have to do something before we read column C. And we're going to have to create an average for the group, is what it says. For ranges individually rated more than 8 3/4 and of different ratings, but not exceeding 27 kW, an average value of rating shall be calculated by adding together the ratings of all the ranges to obtain the total connected load, but we have to use 12 kW for any range rated less than 12 kW, and then we divide by the total number of ranges, and then we have an average value for the group. And then it says that maximum demand in column C, the maximum demand in column C must be increased 5% for each kilowatt or major fraction of a kilowatt by which the average of the group exceeds 12. So if the average is above 12 kW, like if it's 12.5, for example, we have to increase column C by 5%. If it's 13 kW, we have the average. If the average is 13, we have to increase column C by 10%, and so on and so forth, if the average is above 12 kW. Okay, let's figure out this the demand for this group of ranges, right? There's a total of 6 ranges in this group, some of which are rated less than 12. So we have to use 12 at a minimum for each range less than 12 when we're calculating the total connected load. So take a moment, and when you're done, you can restart the video and I'll give you the answer. All right, the correct answer for this one is A, 21 kW. And it's Table 220.55 along with Note 2 in column C. All right, for the 10 kW, Note 2 says you got to use 12 kW when finding the total kW. And for the 11, well, the 11 kW, you have to use 12 kW at a minimum when finding this group average, if you will. And then for the 11.5s, you got to use 12 kW. For the 12s, you can actually use 12 kW. All right, so the group looks like that, right? We're going to substitute 12 kW for any nameplate less than 12 kW. So it's 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12, 6 of them. That's a total connected load of 72 kW, and pretty obvious to see that the average is going to be 12, right? The average is 12. We have a 72 kW total divided by 6. The average is 12. So that means we can just read column C for this group, and that's it. We don't have to increase column C by anything. All right, so it's the column C demand for 6 units. We have 6 total units in the group, so it's just whatever column C says for 6 units. That's 21 kW. All right, and there it is in the table. 6 appliances, 12 kW each, or an average of 12 kW. Just read column C, done deal. That's about as easy as it gets. All right, let's do another one where we may have to increase column C. All right, so here we have some ranges above 12, and then we have some ranges below 12. Give this a shot, and then you can restart the video, and I'll give you the answer. All right, there's the answer. D, 26.25 kW is the correct answer. And again, it's table 22055 plus note 2, column C, demand, plus we're going to add something to column C in this case, 5% we're going to add. All right, we can add the 13 kWs as they are. For the 11 kW ranges, we have to use 12 kW because they're less than 12, so we have to use 12 when we're finding this average. For the 11.5 kWs, we got to use 12 kW. And for the 12 kWs, we can actually use 12 kW. So the math looks like this: 13 plus 13 plus 13, so on and so forth. Total connected load, 125 kW. We have to find an average. 125 kW divided by 10 ranges, we have 10 units, right? So the average is 12.5. That means we have to increase column C by 5%, right? 0.5 kW is a major fraction. It's not a whole fraction above 12, but it is a major fraction above 12. So we have to increase column C by 5%. If it was 12.4 kW as our average, we would not have to increase column C because that's a minor fraction. But this is 12.5 kW, so that means we have to increase column C by 5%. Column C demand for 10 units, whatever that is, plus 5%. 25 kW, that's the demand in column C. Got to add 5% to that. Total is 26.25. Okay, there it is. The demand for 10 units in column C, but in this case, the average rating of the group is 12.5 kW, so it's the demand in column C plus 5%, 26.25 kW. All right, here's another group. Every one of these ranges is above 12, so the average is going to be above 12. So you're going to have to increase column C by 5%, 10%, 15%, depending on what the average value works out to be. Take a moment, and then when you're ready, you can restart the video. I'll give you the answer. All right, 23.1 kW is the correct answer. Okay, let's see the math on this one. It's going to end up being column C plus 10%. All right, we add the 13.5s, the 14.5s, the 12.5s. We add those all together. 81 kW. That's the total connected load. We have to find an average now. There's 6 units. So 81 kW divided by 6 units, that's an average of 13.5 kW for the group, right? So it's column C for 6 units plus 10% because the average is 13.5. That's 1.5 kilowatts above 12. So it's a whole kilowatt and a major fraction of a kilowatt above 12. We're going to increase column C by 10% in that case. 21 kW, that's the demand for column C for 6 units. We could add 10% to that. 23.1 kW, and that's how we got there. All right, there's the average rating is 13.5, so we have to increase column C, in this case, by 10% because the average is above 12. So it's 21 kW plus 10%, 23.1 kW. Hopefully, note 2 is a little easy to understand now. Keep following these videos because I got a whole series on table 220-55, feeder and service calculations, including the notes that go with the table. I'll see you in the next video. And as always, if you'd like more information, please visit my website, russleblanc.net. Thanks for watching.